having a hobby will give you a break from the stress. It'll give you a break from the daily grind. It'll give you that much needed sense of accomplishment. Again, it's going to make life happier and more balanced. Can I get all up in your business today? I'm going to get all up in your business. We should just call these solo shows between us, the Just Alli shows, we should just call them Alli Gets Bossy, or spend 20 minutes and listen to Alli fuss at me. This is apparently where I'm going with this show. I'm sorry. And I'm glad you're still here and I'm not running you off, because this week I'm going to tell you, I think you need a hobby. Okay? Let me make my case. Because I can't tell you how many years went by and I didn't have a hobby. I mean, my company could have been my hobby. My kids were kind of my hobby, but I didn't have much time left over for anything fun. And I was a bit overworked with all the responsibilities of life, right? I wasn't just going to sit around and go, well, what am I passionate about? What do I want to invest more time in? That was the last thing on my mind. Now, on the other hand, because we talk so much about emotional health together and how we optimize life, how we live into the calling that God has for us, how we not just survive, but live abundantly. And I know you're like me. You don't want to just survive. You're trying to thrive at life. So what I learned is we actually need a hobby to round out our lives, to give us some joy and to give us something to lose ourselves in. Hobbies actually help us de-stress. They help us heal from burnout. We all need that. Hobbies boost our mood. They help us learn new things. They help us solve problems. They remind ourselves that we can learn new things and solve problems, right? That translates into anything we're doing, because what happens is we go, I don't have any time. And so we spend way too much time scrolling on reels, doom scrolling, or sitting in front of the TV watching stuff that isn't sometimes even worth our time, which is why I'm always trying to give you the lowdown on the good TV shows to watch. So I'm not saying we throw our phones out the window, but just like we talked to Carlos a few weeks ago about his break from the world and the internet, we're going to talk to my friend Hannah soon about her journey with putting some boundaries around phone use. I know for me, if I'm bored or uncomfortable, my right thumbs start twitching because I want to open my phone for a distraction. And I remember way back in 2014 when I was writing Breaking Busy, I cited research that said the more time people spend on social media, the less happy and content they feel in life. I wrote those words in that manuscript 10 years ago, and it's only worse now 10 years later. So do we have time for hobbies? Yeah, because if you look at your screen time with how much time you're spending on social media, if you're like me, you could just take a small sliver of that and use that for hobby time and boost your happiness and just boost all of those things that hobbies do for you. What I learned is I could slip into watching reels for 2 hours, or I could spend that 2 hours doing something that made me feel productive and made me feel happy and made me remember that I could do something new. Now, I'm not cracking on social media as a whole. I'm just saying it is healthy and it's good to put some limits on it. And whatever our personal limit is, we want to keep that and replace it with something that is better for us in the long run. And if we don't already have something planned out that's better for us, social media is going to creep back in. I mean, have you ever sat down to use the bathroom and 10 minutes later you're still there? I haven't either, but it happens when your legs go numb. We get stuck on social media, right? You're going to sit down on the couch and all of a sudden your thumb starts twitching. And then you look up, 45 minutes is gone and you're like, oh, well, have I been watching depressing news links for all this time? I'm pushing for hobbies, not just because I'm into hobbies right now. I mean, I kind of am. Anything I talk to you about is going to be because I'm into it, but because I have research backing it. I'm never going to bring you advice without having the research. Research shows that hobbies will reduce your stress and they will boost your mood. You want to look it up. The Annals of Behavioral Medicine said that hobbies will lower your stress, improve your mood, and decrease your heart rate. That's a win. Social media increases my heart rate. And there was a study in the journal Positive Psychology that said hobbies make people feel happier and more positive even the next day. So by doing things regularly, you're going to optimize your life. That's what we want. We don't want to just survive. We want to thrive. We want to live abundantly. So just like my books, I'm not going to come at you and tell you to do stuff unless there's some research behind it. So we have the research. Now let's talk about hobby suggestions. With where I am in life, running my companies and having a million kids and leading a large team, I don't have hours and hours every week to spend on a hobby. So when I was picking out a hobby that worked for me, it had to be something that I could do just in those little moments. I'm not going to plant a garden and then have to continually pull weeds all the time. I'm too busy for that. When you think about a hobby, you want to think of something that works for you in a way that's going to work with your life. The capacity that you have and the limitations that you have, you want to find something that works. So you want to choose a hobby that someone else can join in on too. That's just going to give you that friendship boost, right? So you're getting all the social benefits of your hobby. It's fine to do hobbies alone. Most of my hobbies I do alone. But if you can add one in that you do socially with a family member or a friend, it just boosts the happiness right there. So I want to tell you hobbies that I'm loving right now that fit into my life. One of the things I'm loving right now is phone-based. It's an app called 1 Second Every Day. I don't even know how long I've been doing it. He funded it on a Kickstarter. It must have been 10 years ago. And I gave money to the Kickstarter and I was like, this is the best idea ever. And I've been using it ever since. And every day from your camera roll, you can upload 1 second of video content. Some days I do none. Some days I do 15 if it's a really special day. And you put it all together and then you can make, a quick video of your week. Or I always do at the end of every month and the end of the year. And I send it around to the family. And I love this hobby because what it does is it helps me savor the memories, right? I'm savoring life when I look back on the memories of good times we've had or jogging my memory, and it takes me back to that moment. And when I look at that 1 second, right, whether it's something of a bird or goofing around or just sitting at my house, I take a lot of 1 seconds of my golden retriever, Ellie. I mean, how could I not? But here's the thing. I don't put those compilation reels on Instagram for everyone to see because this is something that is for my happiness. And what research shows and what I've seen in my own life is when I'm taking pictures or video with the idea that I am going to present this to the public, it loses a little of that joy. Because no matter what we say and what we do notice how many likes and comments something gives. And if we're sharing something from our life and nobody cares about it, it's just not as fun, right? Sometimes things just need to be special for us or for a very small group of people. Okay, that's one thing I do, which I love. Another hobby that I have with two of my boys is we watch movies together. We'll do, the fancy one, the Oscar-nominated movies. We'll watch garbage movies. We have a list that we're working through. We've been doing this for 3 years. One of the boys, this is his senior year, so this will be the last year we get to really go through a lot of movies because he's going away to college next year. So we're having a blast. We have movie discussions. We watch YouTube videos breaking down the movie. If you've seen on Instagram stories, my movie watchers are part of the fun contingent. The fun contingent, we are the part of the family that likes to go to amusement parks. That's also a hobby. We're trying to make it to every amusement park in the country before I get too old to go to amusement parks. I'm 48 now. I think I can still ride roller coasters for another 30 years, give or take. We'll see. I'm working out to make sure I can. I get a lot of questions about the fun contingent. Do other parts of the family know that we call ourselves the fun contingent? Yes. We try not to let them know because we don't want to hurt any feelings. There's a skiing contingent. There's a happy to stay home and not go out in the world contingent. We respect all contingents of this large family. But movies and amusement parks, that's another thing. Last thing that's just for me is in January, I started indoor gardening. I would love to have a big outdoor garden, but please, I'm not going to go out there and weed all the time. Last Christmas on a trip to Disney, we were in Epcot riding through Living with the Land. And so many flowers and herbs and spices and food was grown inside without dirt. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to get some indoor grow kits. And I did in January, and I've been growing all year. Herbs and spices and lettuce and just all sorts of things. Microgreens, I grow tons of microgreens and sprouts for salads. It's really, really fun, super easy. Again, I'm choosing hobbies that work for a woman without a lot of free time and without a lot of maintenance and upkeep. Like I love putting water in a grow kit and a little fertilizer and then not looking at it for a week. That makes me really happy. That's my kind of gardening. If there are bugs or a weed involved, I'm not doing it. So like I said before, doing something you enjoy, it'll let us relax. It'll let us be creative, which is so good for our mental and our emotional health. Having a hobby will give you a break from the stress. It'll give you a break from the daily grind. It'll give you that much needed sense of accomplishment. Again, it's going to make life happier and more balanced. And what I know from my life, and probably your life too, we don't do enough for ourselves. We don't give ourselves a break from that grind, except to do things that sometimes don't increase our happiness and well-being, like spending too much time doom scrolling or wasting time online in a way that doesn't make us feel better when we're done. Hobbies do not happen by accident. Sitting on the couch for an hour and scrolling through social media, that happens by accident. So your challenge this week, if you don't already have a hobby that you love, is just think about something that you want to give a try. Maybe it's learning a new language. One thing that I want to do in the next few years is I want to learn to play violin, which terrifies my husband, thinking about listening to me butcher a violin. I need to wait until my boy's migraines get in a little better condition before I bring a violin into the home. But I'm going to be all about the violin one day. When we're watching movies and we see a beautiful piece of music, I'll put it on the note in my app. And I'm like, I'm going to learn to play that piece of music. So I'm still loving, 1 second every day. Try 1 second every day if you want something quick and easy. And it's going to be that little nudge to savor life, to remember the good times and put them in there. It's so, so good. So think about for you, what could be fun? Doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Doesn't have to take a lot of time. You can have a free hobby that takes 5 minutes a week. That's amazing. Just start somewhere. Okay, now let's talk about what I'm loving this week. Cosmetic side, this, if you're watching on YouTube, it is Dashing Diva Glaze. The color is in a pale blush. This is the kind of nail strip that you put on your nails and then you use an LED light to harden them. But here's the deal. If you use an LED light to harden them, please put a sunblock on your fingers. LED light isn't great for us. And yes, you only have to use it for 90 seconds or so. But please go ahead, put sunblock on your fingers because you don't want to age your hands when you're doing your nails. And if you go and get gel nails done, definitely put sunscreen on your skin before they put your nails under lights. Sun damage, that's what causes aging. I'm now in a battle with my hands. I take skincare for my face and my neck and my chest pretty seriously, but now I'm like, okay, now it's time to work on my hands. So I'm definitely not going to get any extra sun on there. Now, the book I'm loving this week, let me show it to you if you're watching on YouTube. It's from Robert Iger, The Ride of a Lifetime. It is phenomenal. I picked it up on the way home from Disney and Discovery Cove for my team retreat in July. The subtitle is Lessons Learned from 15 Years as the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. How do you not come home from Disney with that book, right? Fell in love with it, fell in love with the stories, the hard times, the leadership lessons. So if you're looking for a great memoir, a great book on leadership, Bob Iger is where it's at. Now, I send out tons of recommendations every single month to my email list. If you're not on it, you want to be on it. You can go to alliworthington.com, sign up for any quiz, sign up for any, I have so many free things, sign up for anything. And then once a month or so, you'll get an email from me that has good things on it. And with that, I send out a huge list of everything I'm loving, including TV show reviews and movie reviews. I don't do TV or movie reviews on this show anymore because the video editing production timeline is so much longer. I'm recording everything 4 to 6 weeks before it gets produced. So by the time you hear about a movie from me on this show, it may not even be in theaters anymore. So I'm doing all of that via email. So if you miss those, be sure you're on my email list. You'll get an email every month that has good things in it, and it's going to be chock full of everything I'm loving. Some of those end up on the show. Also, something else I'm loving is the fact that we are here together. Thank you. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for letting your bossy big sister tell you what you need to do. You do need a hobby. We all need a hobby. Just a little bit, a little something, right? But we aren't here on this earth to survive. We are here on this earth to live abundantly. Thank you, Jesus. And I believe in what's inside of you. I believe in your dreams. I know you're making an impact on this world for good. That's why you're here every week. You're learning something that's going to help take your life to the next level, bit by bit, piece by piece, twice a week now, which is crazy and so fun. God has created you to stand strong and bring something special and unique to this world that only you can bring. And I love to get to be a part of it. I love to coach and equip you and bring you my insights and a little nerdy research and just some easy tips and action steps to take every week. Keep stepping up, keep showing up and loving well, because you know the truth. You can't break a woman who gets her strength from God. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you again on Monday. 9:26. I'm recording this on August 8th, which feels wild. Like 9:26. What will I even be doing with my life then? Okay, I'm back. Go to Alli Worthington. Blah. And out.